What's happening, YouTube? Cowboy here, and as you can see, it's time to bring you some new content for Borderlands 2. So along with the level cap increase to 61, we also got 8 new Pearlescent weapons and 4 new relics. So today I'm going to be going over all the new items for you, telling you how to get it, showcasing them. You know how it works with these videos. But to start, I guess I should say that for the new Pearlescent weapons, there's no particular boss that drops them. It's a random drop off badass enemies, as far as I know. The wiki at least says it's only humans. I've seen mine off humans so far. I mean, I'm not 100% going to say that it's impossible to get them off other badasses, but the ones I've seen, I ended up getting them off humans. But in general, farm badasses, you'll get pearlescents. Obviously, you want to do this in a group. Everyone wants to have on their Vault Hunter's relic, and that'll give you some better chances at getting them. But with that being said, let's kick things off. So the first one we got up is the Sawbar. As you can see, we got a pretty good magazine size on this. The reload speed and fire rate aren't anything too spectacular, but it's a pretty fun gun overall, just based off the flavor text of suppressing fires, which I can only assume is a tribute to Cyril and Archer. But as you can see, as we're shooting this thing, it just kind of creates a wall of flame that nothing is going to get past. So overall, pretty entertaining assault rifle. I mean, even though we got a hell of a bit of recoil on it, it's also pretty accurate. But moving down from there, we have the Bearcat. Now the Bearcat has pretty high damage. It's because it's going to be shooting out grenades. But yeah, it's nothing too special about it. I mean, it just, like I said, it shoots grenades out. Additionally, if you remembered the Varuk from the legendaries, it's similar to that since it's a doll. So when we're scoped in, we get a 3-shot burst, and I mean you can guess, just shooting 9 grenades at somebody, it's going to do some damage. But as you can see, this thing also just chews through ammo. So unless you're on a gunzerker, I don't really think I'd be able to recommend a gun like this, just because I mean your ammo disappears quite quickly. But moving on from there, we have the Stalker. Now, as you can see on the Stalker, we got a pretty high fire rate, and in addition, a really nice magazine size. Damage, pretty nice too. But the Stalker, it's basically our repeater pistol, and in addition, you can see the projectiles we're shooting out the bullets. They'll bounce off 2 surfaces, so probably not the best weapon to have outside, just because, as you can see, they're just bouncing all over the place. But you can guess, if you're like on one of the inside levels hunting down a bunch of bandits, it could get pretty crazy with these little things flying all over the place. Moving down from there, we have the Unforgiven. Now, probably the first thing you'll notice about the Unforgiven is pretty high damage, close to 90,000. And of course, it says fires as fast as you can pull the trigger, but not too fast. And it's not joking, because this is me shooting it, just mashing the trigger as fast as possible. So it is a relatively slower shooting pistol, but there's actually a hidden 500% critical hit modifier. As you can see right there on that crit, we ended up hitting that guy for over 1 million damage. So, I mean, even though it shoots slow, a pistol that can hit for over 1 million damage, yeah, that's pretty broken. But moving on from there, we got 4 more pearlescent weapons to go through. I like to think I saved the best for last. Alright, so first up in our second set is going to be the Avenger. Now the Avenger is your new T-Door SMG. So similar to other T-Door weapons, when you reload it, you'll end up throwing it like a grenade. But what's cool about this is, one, it spirals around like a bouncing Betty, shooting out its bullets and then exploding. So if you can manage to find a slag version like I did, it's pretty awesome. I mean, that's one hell of an effective tool to just slag every enemy up. And another thing you might notice if you look down at the bottom right is while you have this equipped, your ammo will also regenerate for the submachine gun. So, I mean, if you're a big SMG user, it's definitely one to keep around. If for nothing else, just for the ammo regeneration purposes of it, just because, there were some guns that did that back in Borderlands 1, and as far as I know, I think there's maybe only one other that regenerates ammo in this game. There might be off the top of my head. I don't know, it's been a while. But moving down from the Avenger, we have the Butcher, which, in my opinion, is probably one of the strongest guns in the game right now. Now, the Butcher, as you already know, Hyperion guns, as you shoot them, you know, they become more accurate, and I feel like the Butcher actually gets an increased rate of fire as well when you're shooting it. But the real benefit of this is that when you're firing it off, there's a chance for ammo to just randomly jump back into the magazine. So we're going to get away from these baddies real quick just so we can better demonstrate this without wiping everything out. But if you keep an eye on the mag count, you can see that it's basically just regenerating itself. I mean, it's shot up to 18 a couple times, and I mean, eventually we emptied out, but still, it took way longer to go through 18 shots than it should have. And the fact that it has this ridiculous fire rate and that it comes in a variety of elements, you can imagine how this gets just ridiculously overpowered and broken against certain enemies. So it also has a really nice tight pellet spread, just to give you an idea. As you can see right here, I mean, almost every single shot we're throwing out is hitting, you know, right where the reticle is, and especially since it's Hyperion, you know that obviously the longer you shoot it, the better it's going to get. Moving on from there, we have the Tungsten, the new rocket launcher. And first thing you might notice is obviously the damage is over 1 million, which is always welcome on a rocket launcher. And what's cool about this thing is you actually kind of just shoot it, it lobs up. Well, that didn't really work since I went down, you couldn't really see it, but when you shoot it, it pops up in the air and then explodes. So it's a pretty cool rocket launcher just because, I don't know, personally I like the whole idea that it like pops down and then comes up and explodes. I think it's really entertaining to see that in a launcher on this game. But I mean, overall, this thing can definitely clear a room. It has damage that's comparable to a Norfleet. Awesome rocket launcher to get your hands on. And the final pearlescent weapon we have is the Storm. Now, to my knowledge, the Storm only comes as shock, similar to how the Sawbars also always fire. But what's cool about this, the first thing you'll probably notice is the chance to shock on this is ridiculous, 56%. And when you shoot it, it actually generates, you see these little orbs popping up. And if I didn't kill all the enemies, it'll be nice to demonstrate on one of them. But basically when you shoot an enemy, those orbs will begin to shoot little bolts of lightning out. So the lightning's not all that amazing in terms of just damage, but it's still pretty awesome to see it just, you know, sit there and shock that guy and almost finish him off. But if there's other enemies around, I wish these guys would like group up so you could actually, so you can kind of see it there, the little lightning hitting this guy and doing some extra damage. But I mean, it's kind of a gimmicky weapon, but even so, it's a pretty sweet effect to see happen. So, as I said, in addition to the 8 pearlescents, we also have new relics as well. So the first up is going to be Bone of the Ancients. Now, as far as I know, there's 3 variants of this one. It's either fire damage, shock, or corrosive. I'm actually fairly positive that the developers confirmed that it doesn't come in a slag or explosive variant. So if you do see those, they were, I'm guessing, just modded into the game. But yeah, I mean, for something like a siren, this thing is just sexy. I mean, I can get it in either fire, shock, or corrosive. I mean, obviously I'm a whore for fire damage, so when I finally got my hands on one of those, this thing hasn't come off. And then obviously it has cooldown rate as well, which makes it a pretty freaking awesome relic. But moving on from that one, we have Bone of the Ancients. Nope, never mind, that's the shock one I have. Ha. Okay, Heart of the Ancients. So with the heart, it always comes with Fight for Your Lifetime and second wind health, but it also spawns an increased damage modifier for a specific weapon. So, you know, you can get it in SMG, sniper, assault rifle. You know, so there's a specific gun, like if you're doing a sniping 0, you could see already how that'd be pretty awesome. You know, an extra 30% sniper damage, and then on top of that, you know, Fight for Your Lifetime and second wind health. They're not really things you look for. I mean, they're situational, but they can always come in handy. So, pretty cool one. Moving down from there, we have the Blood of the Ancients, which it's obviously we got a huge amount of max health on this, and then the one I have is shotgun and sniper rifle ammo. For these ones, they basically it's like a combination of a vitality and a stockpile relic. All of these new ancient relics are just combos, but it can spawn with weapon variants on it. So obviously, you know, it doesn't have to be sniper shotgun. That could be assault rifle and SMG ammo, and then of course the max health is always there on it. So for something like a Gunzerker, this would be awesome. Because I mean, if I could get max health and then, you know, say I'll probably go for like extra shoddy and extra assault rifle ammo, and I'm gonna have to hunt one of those down for my Gunzerker just because it's all kinds of awesome. And the final one we have is the Skin of the Ancients. Now, as you can see from the stats, this is basically a combination of a resistance relic and a protection relic. Obviously, it's not always fire and explosive. You could find this with corrosive resistance, shock resistance. Now, on the Borderlands wiki, they mentioned that this can also come with shield capacity. I haven't found a capacity version myself, but there is a picture of it on the wiki, so I'm not sure, but in theory, this could have recharge rate, capacity, and 2 resistances. So just to give you an idea of that, I mean, take the for Cadius, the Invincible fight, you could imagine how having one of these with shock resist, corrosive resist, and then obviously the shield capacity and recharge would, you know, just be a huge impact on your survivability in a fight like that. So, I mean, the benefits are obviously there. If you need survivability, this is definitely something to look into getting. But that covers it for the new items, guys. So, obviously, a good amount of stuff to keep you busy until we get the new character and the next round of DLC.